again to the Forward Compatible Podcast. This is one. I'm going to start that all over again, aren't I?
What are we doing right now?
Part 2.
There's a part 2? Oh my god.
Hello, welcome once again to the Forward Compatible Podcast. This is episode 111, Part 2, for March 23rd, 2014. My name is Tony. I'm joined, as always, by my fellow podcasters, Jason and Matt.
Hey.
This, of course, is part 2. In the event you have yet to do so, please do pause the video and click out or check it out later. It really doesn't matter. For part 1, where we do cover this week's news as well as answer the viewers' burning questions. But this is part 2, where we cover Tony's topic of the week. Tony topic of the week.
Also burning.
Also, yes.
Like herpes. Go ahead.
This week, we left it out in the news because we had quite a big story, and that's what I kind of wanted to tear down this week. We had some VR headset news. Of course, you guys by now, from listening to the show, are probably very well versed in the Google Glass that came out, and then the Oculus Rift, which is coming out. But now... recently, in the last few weeks, we had some rumors and speculation, and finally confirmation from Sony that they are making their own VR headset for the PS4. And then, of course, to not be left out in the cold, Microsoft started hinting at their own version that'll be coming out. We're going to break all that shit down. I'd love to hear some initial thoughts from you, Fine Joe.
To connect for your face.
Oh god.
Face!
It'll track your eye movements. One will probably be blue and one might be green. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know. I don't want to delve too far into it, but I don't know how I feel about this whole VR headset thing yet. It kind of feels gimmicky, kind of like how 3D and 3D gaming was.
It seems a little bit more gimmicky than that in the fact that it's reminding me a lot of the Ouya and all the different Android consoles that we're going to have made by 20 different companies.
We're making one.
For Super, right, you know. So, yeah, no, but it's, you know, everybody's going to have their own VR headset, which, hey, it's great to have choice. I don't know. I have to try it.
I actually don't like that every company's coming out with one. I prefer, because these things, I don't think they're going to be cheap. I think they're going to be like $300 a shot.
And they're going to have to go in for each console?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I kind of wish that Oculus would have been, this is what I initially anticipated, was Oculus was the end-all be-all, that you might have to buy the $20 or $30 Xbox adapter and then the $20 or $30 PlayStation adapter, and it would have came ready for PC out of the gate, and that would have been okay. Maybe, you know, if you're somebody like myself who owns all the consoles anyway, and then you're like, well, I buy this one thing, grab a couple adapters, we're set. But, like, you know, we don't have confirmed price points yet, but if these things are $200-$300 a piece, and you got to buy 2 or 3 of them, that's a lot of money for something that can still be considered kind of gimmicky.
Right. And, I mean, I think that might even be a low number, $200-$300 a piece.
It very well could be.
I mean, we could hit console prices for them. Nobody would buy them then, but I mean,
You could.
That might be a possibility.
Yeah. So the big one we can start off there is PlayStation 1. It's officially been deemed Project Morpheus.
Morpheus.
Morpheus?
Maybe Morpheus.
I thought it was Morpheus.
Might be somewhere. Project.
Morpheus.
Mm.
M.
Yes.
It's
Project
a
M.
headset.
Project M.
That's
As the cool kids are calling it.
That's a Metroid game.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Whatchamacallit? Yeah, I mean, this is the officially internally developed Sony one. It's supposed to work with the PS4. The few people that have seen it, and the Oculus was not getting very good leaky leaks. A lot of the people,
Not good leaks.
Not good leaky leaks. The people that have played it,
Making up a bunch of leak
like,
shit today.
fuck, man. The people who have gotten to play around with it said that they can see the theory and stuff behind it, but that it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Which could kind of be worrisome. I don't know. But apparently the Sony one works really well from the people I've heard it from, but they also are very closely knit with Sony, so they could also just be saying it to be nice, I suppose.
I mean, the Sony one looks nice.
Right.
They all look weird.
Well, the Sony one doesn't look bad.
Most Sony things look smooth.
Yeah. You know,
Nice.
It's got the little blue lights on the side and whatnot.
I don't see it.
I don't know, man. I like to wear hats a lot. So,
How can I game without my hat?
yeah.
It's my good luck hat. I don't know,
man.
like, I'm kind of.
Just put it out there.
It doesn't look like something I care about at all. And I'm kind of worried, like, developers are stretched, quality developers are stretched so thin already between the arguing competing consoles and the PC market, and now
We're just throwing another thing in there.
a lot of good developers like Cliffy B and the like are all leaving console AAA development to go make stupid small phone and tablet games that I don't give a shit at all about. And now you're going to have just another avenue for people to leave the good quality stuff that I look forward to and go start wasting 2 or 3 years making hardware for some peripheral that I really don't care about.
Nintendo's gonna follow the bandwagon, announce the Virtual Boy 2 because the first one worked out so fucking well.
Still won't have good online.
I don't know.
This is such like a depressing topic.
It is.
We're just all like-
here's the thing that gets me is I know Microsoft a little bit more than Sony. They've been pushing to kind of take over the living room, right? You know, but Sony's followed suit, just not as vocal about it with having Netflix and all this other streaming service and TV integration and everything. Now they want you to strap a fucking helmet on your face. And it kind of takes away from that.
Because I thought Sony was trying to take the opposite approach, where they're saying we're only a gaming.
That's what they're saying, but that's
Units.
not what they're doing. I mean,
You still can't connect your computer though, which is weird to me.
well, neither of them
PS4.
can currently.
No.
But I'm talking about like streaming services being
Right.
available,
Right.
the multimedia being available.
Apps.
Yes, it's a Sony's focus is on games, but they still have all that stuff there.
Right.
You know, it's just not they're not as vocal as Microsoft has been about wanting to take control of the cable
Watch
box and whatnot.
TV.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like they're both kind of shifting focus. Now, I mean, like, how are you supposed to have? When I think about sitting in the front room and having a multimedia machine and everything, I'm doing it with people. You know, yeah, it's all fun and good when I'm playing by myself. But like, you know, if we're watching a movie or something or whatever the case may be, now they want to put this fucking headset on me. And
Well,
is
it-
everybody
it's-
gonna have one? Like, are we gonna be able to do movies with it now? And like, you know.
Well, it's gaming in general is becoming so much more single-minded in that fact that all right, split screen already is pretty much gone.
Yeah.
Having multiple people on the same console for PS4 and Xbox One.
I was very surprised
It's-
Plants vs. Zombies had split screen in it.
Yeah, but
I
in
know,
general,
I agree,
it's pretty much gone. And now with the VR headset, we're going even more internalized, and to the point that like, okay, so now it's you. So, and here's the thing: I love games. I love being a gamer. I think it's awesome. It's also terrifying to me that I would think to play a game, I have to completely disconnect from everything.
Mhm.
And doing that scary to me.
That's a big part of it too.
It's
And it's like, I mean, they tried this stuff with motion gaming. Like, I understand the benefits of getting up off the couch and being more interactive and whatnot, right?
right.
But now it's exactly that. I don't want this thing strapped onto my face and like have to move around and spin in circles to see the environment and whatnot.
There's certain places where I get that, which is like back in the day when they had like Navy Pier or like Disney Quest, where you would go and you'd use the VR thing, and it was like a
$1,000
gimmicky,
machines.
and it was like a gimmicky, pay $10 to play it for 10 minutes kind of thing. Like, I understand its place there. The reason I don't understand its place in the home is because, as great as it is, that you want to play games for a long time. You like games, you put hours into them, but it's I guess it's most scary to me, not for us, because we can put it down. We know that you have your gaming time, and then it's time to go live life. It's scary to me for if these become so caught on, like these kids who haven't had that difference are going to be like, oh, well, they're just going to disconnect for hours. And as a parent, what are the parents going to do? Are they going to actually take it away, or they're just going to be like, whatever, go do your thing, and
I'm personally worried in my bedroom. Like, if I was to get into one of these, like there's just like, it's dangerous.
Yeah. Well,
I my bedroom has a lot of stuff in it, and I don't have a ton of room to just like run around and be an idiot in my bedroom. Like, I got 2 little dogs and stuff, and if I got this big thing that's like purposely blocking out the light and all things of your surrounding, like I'm just gonna start hitting my dresser and my bed and stepping on my dogs and knocking my TV over and like.
You ever, Hayes' comment kind of triggered a thought. You remember the Robin Williams movie Toys?
Oh God. Do we want to remember the Robin Williams movie?
LL Cool J's in it.
Yeah.
The interesting part about that is they had, quick little synopsis for all the youngins out there. It was a toy company that was moving in to make video games, essentially, right?
Yeah.
But they had these kids playing the video games, and they were playing war games. And they were actually controlling drones.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So that's...
Well, it's Ender's Game. It's the same kind of idea.
Yeah.
And then I'm even thinking about like Total Recall type stuff. You see people like, this is going to become their drug, where you literally go and how long are you going to spend in it, cutting yourself off from everything. Because it looks like it's got the earbuds, right, so that like you can't hear anything but what's going on.
But they said, like, at least with the Sony one, they said that it'll be you'll be able to use different headsets with it.
Right,
I don't know how that's gonna work,
and again, I see the gimmick, I see how it would be cool, and we're not even getting into the really kind of scary territory with it. I'm not going to get too into it, but just the psychological impact of it being that. Your brain is not meant to think that things that are not real are real, and this is virtual reality. So you're going to start having that psychological impact of the blurring of reality and non-reality. Everyone's like, oh, I'll know the difference between a game and not a game. I'm telling you spend enough time in it, and it will start to blur.
Yeah, especially, I mean, what's next? They're going to hook up something to your nose so that you can smell the different smells in a game?
They actually started that kind of stuff on rides, not for video games. They have like...
Yeah.
You go to
the 40 stuff.
If you go to Orlando, they'll like, they have these little jet sprays that'll like spray like scents.
Well, but...
I did the...
Or the splash of the water on
the Despicable Me 4D thing, and he pulls out a fart gun and he pulls the trigger on it, but then he's like, oh wait, the minions mess with it. It smells like bananas, kind of thing. Yeah, but not for gaming, no.
But again, I think a big part of this for me is the reason that it's so scary to me is because if I did get it, I'm just worried about how addicted to it that I would get. Because I'm telling you, I would. I have an extremely addicted personality.
For 5 days.
And but all it would take is for me to be cut off from everything. How long am I going to spend cut myself off in this thing? Because can you imagine how much easy it'd be to lose track of time in that thing?
Oh yeah.
It's like a fucking
You don't know if it's night or day or what time it is or...
And it's so weird because I feel like we're talking about science fiction here right now.
The shit's here, man.
It's here, man.
The
Oh my
future's
god.
now.
Revolution is happening.
I really, and I know I'm kind of sounding like a naysayer, I really just hope it sucks and nobody adapts it to anything.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't want to do that. Now, if it was something more akin to like a Google Glass where it's a pair of glasses and it projects the images or something like that, as long as I can kind of look away or I can see through it or have an option to like click a button to look and see through it, I'd be more, but I mean having this...
Yeah, Google Glass does look interesting. That's just a pair of sunglasses with the internet.
But see, the difference between that is you're not cutting yourself off from the rest of the world. You're basically just putting a heads-up display.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in front of it, and you can record stuff.
And you can still see through it.
I mean, shit, Iron Man can still see through the fucking mask,
Yeah.
you know, but
And there's I think that there's a bit more of an enhancement to the world that you're in with that versus cutting yourself off
yeah.
from everything. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so then Microsoft comes out, and they're all like, "Me too, me too, me too." An awful lot less information is out about this, of course.
Oh,
They're in their beginning stages.
there's that, but they also, and I don't know if it's something that you've got noted there, there's the projector that they're working on.
This I've not heard of.
Okay, this was picking up a little bit of steam with one of their patents that came out just prior to the Xbox One announcement last year, and it's essentially a holodeck they're working on. Where yes, that, and I don't mean in the sense of like you can't see your surroundings anymore, but it would be able to outwardly project the world environment in your living room.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I'd be more akin to that
Yeah.
than having something,
Right. Right.
you know.
Yeah. A screen.
I'd rather
shoved
be
under
sitting
your
in my
eyes.
living room and have something light up and like project everywhere and be able to look around in my environment rather than taking me out of the environment.
Right.
The Microsoft possibility weirds me out because, all right, the Kinect was supposed to do this, and of course it never worked. Like they had like the Forza head tracking, where like you can tilt your head slightly up or slightly left.
It's still
It's-
in the current Forza.
It doesn't fucking
I've
work.
never
good.
turned it on.
You know, you can go a little left, and the thing will, the Kinect will recognize your face twitching, like just like an inch or two, because you still have to look at the screen, obviously, and that would allow the entire camera to turn and look out your window and stuff like that. So, like, they tried this without the mask on. This was what the Kinect was supposed to solve.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of go back to what that. So if they're backtracking to like what Hayes was saying, then you stick this helmet on, and then like I don't know, I don't really want to
I
go
feel
like this to like.
I'd almost rather have like a mocap like thing on my head and have the cameras detect that to change the environment on the TV screen.
I just don't ever
Yeah.
see it working better than a controller, and that's the problem with Kinect. Like, okay, say I want to look to my left, you have to like go like this a little bit while still paying attention to what's going forward and controlling the controller, and hope that the Kinect recognizes that you want to look out the window.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just like assigning that to like left bumper
Or
to-
like even
to
a
glance
tilt.
that way.
Like do it with a tilt, where like maybe you tilt the controller a little bit.
No.
Eh, that's a little weird too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see
Well,
what
you
you're
can
saying.
turn it on and off then, but you don't.
Do it like
It would
this.
work better than head tracking.
I don't know.
Not
man.
if you had mocap balls on your face.
Yeah, balls on your face. Sorry.
Just have like a fucking headband with an IR bar on it. Be fine.
Well, but it's sad, like, when I'm talking about this whole VR thing, like, I feel like I'm kind of becoming my parents in a way. Because, like, as a kid, I'm like, no, it's going to be awesome. Screw you guys. You're just not ready for the future. And I'm like, no, they were right. I am not ready for the future. Put it back. Put the future away.
Dude, I'll fight the future kicking and screaming. I am all about next
Fight the future.
next gens coming out and graphics looking prettier and processor having more power to render better looking
Tony's like, stay off my face.
better looking backgrounds and more AI and smarter AI. I'm all about that kind of stuff. Stronger servers to support more people, multiplayer, all about all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that gets me away from the controller is already got huge strikes against it. That's why I never got
Well,
into
it
motion
sounds
game.
like what you're saying is you're more for actual interconnectivity.
Well, to my knowledge, as far as going with the VR headsets, is that you're still using a controller.
It's just visually. It's
Yeah.
just weird.
It's just visual and sound.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
Yeah, but I thought it was all
it's
like.
bringing
I
the
thought it was
whole-
all like.
it's bringing the whole entertainment
with
theater
the,
to
with
you
the
right
Oculus
here.
Rift.
And there is the looking around thing, where when you do tilt, you are actually looking around the world that
But you
you're in.
still control your movement with the controller. You're not
Right.
necessarily getting up and walking.
Right.
They do have that weird
It's
treadmill
more
thing.
like
I don't know if you read about that.
I did,
Yeah,
but I think
that thing will never
it's
work.
more like the head tracking tilt, where rather than doing this to use the right stick like you would look around,
Just like that. Just like that, though.
Essentially, it'd be more along the lines of let's throw it into a first-person shooter perspective. Okay, you're able to look around, but you're still moving your reticle with the controller, and you're still moving
You're
in
just
the
tilting,
environment.
right?
Now, let's say somebody's behind you. You have a quick turnaround button assigned, so you'll spin around, which could be kind of jarring too. When you
Right.
think about
Yeah.
it.
Right. But again, it's not so much the control factor that I have an issue with. It's just the
Now,
Shut
there are
everything
some interesting implications with this, and I'm sure that's something that Tony's got on there. There's the thing for Oculus Rift that I know that they've adapted for the Morpheus or whatever the hell it's called, where you can walk around Mars, the surface of Mars.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So you strap on the VR headset and you're on Mars.
See, stuff like that I can get on board for, but the problem, yeah, exactly.
In your face.
Literally. But not gaming. Like there's like some really cool apps.
Lady boys all over.
Porn sign, but not gaming, please.
Don't mess with it. No, I think like some stuff like that could be really cool. There could be an awful lot of cool apps that these headsets can make a better experience.
Imagine like a Myst game where there's no
Something
real
like that,
combat,
or-
but it's like a puzzle, or Gone Home.
I was saying like even like tours.
Mm-hmm.
Like they could sell like tours for like $2.99 or something, and you could like take a virtual tour of the Colosseum, where it's like in Rome, where you don't have to go, and you could literally like
Even farther than that, right? Like, okay, let me build on that. That's actually a really cool idea, right? Like a tour of the Colosseum. And so then you're walking around the Colosseum and they're talking to you about it, and then it can even morph and it can actually show you like a gladiator fight going on, you know, and
stuff
yeah.
like that. But like so I think it'd be cool, but like if it only did weird gimmicky shit like that, I couldn't see myself spending more than like $50 or $100 on it.
Well, and even with that, I think it'd be cool to VR headset for that. It'd be cooler with that projection thing you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like,
I know when
I just don't want
it.
it in front of my
Yeah.
face like this.
Yeah.
Give me some space.
When I first heard about them, and I wish I had the code name for it and everything, it's something that they are developing. It doesn't necessarily mean
Yeah,
it's going to come to light, but
Well, no, but
But-
still awesome.
it's something that they were working on also, and I think that would be far cooler.
Yeah.
To do more of like a holodeck
Mm.
kind of gimmick.
And I would be having to spend way more money for
Yeah.
that than a VR headset.
I'd pay for it. Though.
So, oh, yeah.
$5 billion.
So we just all pitch in, all of us here in Chicago, the entire
Every
city,
buddy.
and then we all just share one room. Hollow.
I don't see any problems with that idea. I don't. So, okay, that's about all the big points I had. You guys wanna? You got anything else, anybody?
I was just
Hold on,
thinking, I
I'm
could
pulling
make
it
my
out
own
right
VR
here.
headset right now.
Or else we can hop into some final
Just tie
thoughts.
this to my face.
Yes.
Oh my god!
It's like I'm in the game. It's like I'm
Ah, fuck
there.
it.
Okay,
You turn
hold
it
on,
on,
hold on.
Yeah.
We got a video here. Okay, this is supposedly it might be a Rickroll, who knows? But it's supposed. We'll turn on the fucking music. Here's the holodeck. We're gonna have them watch that really quick, so they can kind of. Don't pull on my little rubber thing.
Isn't that a speaker?
I turned it down purposely, so you can kind of get an idea of what they're talking about.
Okay.
So.
It's basically just extending the
Yeah,
TV.
it's a projector.
Okay. I can get behind that.
Oh, this looks okay.
Yeah.
That I can get
Yeah.
behind.
Yeah. And I don't think it would be as expensive as I was thinking
Yeah.
at first, because I was like imagining just making
But look at
portable
like,
things
alright,
appear.
like he's shooting there, right? Let me go back a second. See, look at. See how he's shooting and the whole environment
yeah.
shaking and shit.
That's pretty cool.
Can you imagine watching like Jurassic Park and everything starts?
Oh my god, that'd be amazing. Or porn?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the money shot went all the way across the room.
Yeah, but back to like those tour things, like even like museums and stuff.
Mhm.
Like who the fuck could go to the Louvre in Paris or something? You know what I mean?
Right.
But like you could sell like a little.
Isn't it on your bucket list?
Louvre?
Yeah.
The lube?
No.
But you're gonna backpack through.
I think you're thinking about the lube.
Yes.
That's an
the Louvre
Amsterdam.
would be cool to go to, or like Egypt. Go to like take a tour of like the pyramids. And it's really only sending like one dude with a camera out there for a few days who has to
Or-
record everything. But
It's
he
already fucking Google Earth.
Go
Yeah,
take
and
like go take like a tour of Halo. You know?
That's the kind of stuff they could start
Right.
expanding into.
That would be insanely awesome.
Or before they created the South Park game, it could have been like take a tour through South Park. And you
Yes!
had to, like, you could see where people's houses and stuff were.
By the way,
And those
they,
little
they
things-
said that's not the official layout of South Park.
It can't be because they already fucked themselves up.
Yeah.
But whatchamacallit, like, then you can start going into fictional stuff.
Right.
Go tour the, I don't know,
Well, like I said, right now they have.
Hoth from Star Wars.
Right now, I said you can walk on Mars with the Oculus Rift. There's an app for that.
That's the kind of stuff. So if they start selling those little programs for $3 or $4 or even $5, like, you can start making some money. It allows you to go experience the world the best you're going to be able to do without going there.
And-
or like a trip through the Amazon or
Or
African safari.
Building on that, they could even do like a movie, like I said,
Mhm.
Jurassic Park. Could you imagine being one of the
In
like
the movie.
you're running, you look back and there's the fucking dinosaur,
Well, but see, the awesome thing about those, everything that you guys are talking about is, it's better than. Well, it's not as scary as doing it with the game because it's limited. You're not
Exactly.
gonna do that. You're not gonna do that for 6 hours.
It's 2 hours. You're done, and
Max.
that's the goal
That's
of a
max.
movie is you want to be in
Immersed.
that, immersed
Right,
in it. So.
right. And yeah,
So I mean, I can see some benefits for it, but then this is another thing you really got to pick your horse on. If
Yeah.
everybody's making their own,
Yeah.
you really got to have it figured out which VR headset you want to go with, which like turns me off even more. It's like I said, I really thought Oculus was the headset, and then Microsoft would pay them a lot of money to put on their shit, and PlayStation would pay them a lot of money to put on their shit. And you just
Right.
get the Oculus Rift, and you just but no, why make things easy? Bastards. All right, let's hit some final thoughts and wrap this bitch up.
I want a holodeck.
not that I've ever seen
I mean,
in my life, ever.
I already just take my phone and just lay it across my face like this.
While you're tugging it.
Yeah. That's the best way to do it, right?
They're right in my
Wow,
face.
this actually kind of hurts the bridge of my nose.
So you gotta get those glasses.
Some
that
safety
hold out.
glasses?
Yeah.
Get some safety goggles?
Yeah.
I think we just invented our own VR. Flappy Tony.
Having a thought here.
Uh-oh.
Okay. You got some final thoughts on the whole VR headset type thing? You neither?
Just don't do it.
Okay. Well,
So, no, I think it's kind of cool, but again, I just don't think I don't think it's a home in your house thing. I think it should be an experiential, like an experience thing. You go and you experience it, but it's not like when I go to MovieCo and I go to D-Box. Oh my God, the seat's moving. That's awesome. I don't want that in my house. I want that for when I go for 2 hours to watch a movie once every month.
Yeah.
You know,
I gotcha.
so,
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I was thinking really quick, like even the implement of like a sports game. That could be kind of cool, like sitting at the 50-yard line at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That would
watching
be
the Super
pretty
Bowl play out.
awesome.
And just have a camera that broadcasts, because they already have the cameras that do the wide angle, and obviously you can just sit there and that'd be kind of fun and cool.
Yeah.
But not for games. I don't want it for games.
I see
want
it working for almost everything but video games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I want it for everything but video games.
Like I'm thinking of you, like what you were just saying. Like if you paid an extra couple bucks because football's free.
Yeah.
So say you paid that $1.99 microtransaction.
For Super Bowl, $10.
Well, okay,
Whatever.
I'm just saying for a week they could do this for everything,
Mhm.
and you have like 3 or 4 like camera options that you pick,
Mhm.
and like you said, one guy is sitting on the 50-yard line, and all he's doing is following the play with that one camera. And you could zoom in on him,
Mhm.
and or you could pick the blimp, the eye in the sky. Not quite the blimp. They have those ones like at the top row.
They already do it for X Games. They have 3D cameras that do full panoramic.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you ever watched, but like the guy will go up and he'll do a trick, and the camera can it'll pick up full 3D. So they already have the technology to do it. It would be just implementing it.
And then you pick how you want
Yeah.
to view it.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. Yeah, I like it's sad.
I
'cause
just
we-
sold Tony on like,
Yeah, I'm like, this sounds pretty fucking good. Yeah.
Just a hands,
But yeah, I can see this working for a ton of shit, but video games. But
Yeah.
who knows? I mean,
I
that's
think-
when they said. That's what they said when the television was invented. So.
Right. We could. eat all our words later.
Mhm.
But for now, I guess
They
my
could go to the Nintendo route and have a warning pop up every 5 minutes.
Oh,
You
God.
take a break.
Too big.
but
Check on your dogs.
I guess my final
Is that
thought.
the baby
would be-
crying?
Yeah. Oh, God. I guess my final thought
Don't
would
forget
be,
to go to bed. You have work in the morning.
would be just, as of this moment, fight the future. Don't let Skynet use the VR headsets to enslave you. I think that's it.
For me, yeah, it could be cool. I doubt it will be. I see this becoming something like the PlayStation Move, where
The what?
the PlayStation Move,
What's that?
where they make it
A
and
stick of lube.
it's decently expensive, where not too many people are keen to pick it up, even though it is kind of cool. And because not too many people pick it up, nobody wants to make games for it because there aren't enough moves in the wild.
I've still never held it.
And then eventually it just kind of fades itself out, becomes non-relevant, and just kind of poof.
Let's see Tony strapping on a VR headset and playing Super Mario Brothers.
Oh man, it's Peach.
Peach.
She baked me a cake.
All right, guys, this has been episode 111, part 2. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Catch us next week, same time. Say, boys. Hello and welcome once again to the Forward Compatible Podcast. This is episode 112, part 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. For March 31st, 2014, my name's Tony, and I'm all by myself. Now, let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen. I get hundreds, nay, thousands of emails on a daily basis asking when am I going to do another Sexy Cast. They're all like, where's the new Sexy Cast? Why has it been so long since the last Sexy Cast? And all types of nonsense like that. And I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I listen to the fans, and here you go. Of course, none of that's true. I'm just trying to make light of a very dire situation. We, of course, at the Forward Compatible team have had a death in the Forward Compatible team, I suppose. So I'm not going to go too into it because it's not, I'm not in any position to say what happened, but essentially that's why part 2 of last week had a delay in being put up, and of course it didn't allow us to record on our usual day, which is Sundays, of course. So today's Monday. I'm a day late. I'm going to try to get something out to you guys so you have something to pass the time with this week. Of course, I'm not going to be able to do a regular show all by my lonesome, but I will do the show to the best of my ability. Yeah, so I guess you guys are all caught up. By next week, everything should be back to normal by the best of my, or to the best of my knowledge. So, without further ado, here we go. Suppose I will kick off the show with my weekly roundtable and catch everybody up on what I've been playing since the last time we all spoke. I guess it's going to be a rather short list, to be honest. All I did was a little bit more Assassin's Creed 4. My buddy Matt was, who's been on the show several times, was nice enough to loan me his copy of Black Flag for the PS4, and I'm trying to return it to him as soon as possible, so I've just been playing that. It's alright. I think I said this last week. It's not the greatest game ever, but it's not horrendous by any means. It's more Assassin's Creed with a pirate themed coat of paint.
Hold on. iTunes is yelling at me on my computer. Okay. We'll clear that out. All right. So yeah, aside from Assassin's Creed, I really haven't had much time. As some of you may know, I'm a landscaper. That's like my actual day job, and I've been. We started again this week doing the spring cleanups, so I haven't had much time for gaming, and the next few months of my life are going to kind of suck like that, to be completely honest. So it's kind of good that there's a lull in video game releases lately. Those are my dogs, actually, in the background growling. Usually you guys are used to Sammy and Ace from Jason's house, but I'm home. And I got two little min pins, Jack and Zero, and they're growling. All right, aside from that, I really didn't play much, so I suppose I can hop into some news. What happened this week? I guess quite a lot, but nothing that I honestly cared about. And I didn't really organize this because this is very last minute, guys, so I do apologize for all that. But the first thing that I saw popped out is that the new Games for Gold is getting Hitman. Now, I don't think this is a huge story on its own, because Hitman's still a rather old game, but I think that it indicates that Xbox is finally getting the message that people don't really necessarily care about getting, Assassin's Creed 2 or Halo 3. Not taking anything away from either of those games. They were both excellent in their time, but that's the problem. It was in their time, and both those games could be picked up, for a couple bucks in the dollar bin. So they weren't really worthwhile as games to give away for Microsoft to be saying thanks to its loyal, gold subscribership. And Hitman, at least, is a couple years old. It's nowhere near on par with what PlayStation Plus is doing, but keep in mind, PlayStation Plus also gave this exact same game away. So hopefully Microsoft's getting the message. I'm still curious whether or not this is going to carry over to the Xbox One, and if so, how long it's going to be before we actually get a free game. Because many of you know, there's only 10, 15 games out. I don't see them giving any of them away. It's also been the problem with the PS4 on PlayStation Plus. Although they have given a couple games away, they essentially just been like smaller indie titles and whatnot. So that's pretty much that. What else do we got? This is a personal news story that would have never, ever made Mark's list, but guess what? It's Tony's Sexy Cast, so I don't care. Velocity 2X got announced, rather. This is coming out for PlayStation devices. This is a little space shooter sequel from the Vita, which is one of my absolute favorite Vita games there is. It's Velocity Ultra. It was like a little $5 or $10 game, I forget, and it's actually like one of my most played games on my Vita. So I'm super excited that the sequel got announced. It's essentially broken down. They're like these little 3-4 minute levels, you know what I mean? But there's I want to say just shy of 100 of them. So it takes quite a bit to beat the game. I still haven't completed it yet because it gets quite difficult toward the end, but whatever. It's a fun time suck when you want to pour 3 or 4 minutes into it, and it's equally as cool when you want to sit down and play it for a couple hours, which I've done both of. So excellent game. I'm looking very forward to the sequel. What else we got here? Oh, Goat Simulator. That game that was like a big goof off title is actually coming out tomorrow. Pretty sure it's a PC exclusive. I don't doubt that at some point in the future it's going to come to other systems if it does well on PC. That's what usually happens. But yeah, it looks hilarious. Might actually dust off the old PC and give that one a shot. So we'll see how it goes. Another big news story that happened this week. The upcoming game Wolfenstein is getting a collector's edition, but apparently, it doesn't actually include the game. It's somewhere in the vicinity of like 150 bucks. I don't have it exactly in front of me, and it comes with like a really cool statue and like artwork and all these crazy things. So it's a really cool collector's edition, but you don't get the game. Now, I don't know if that was an oversight on the initial listing, that they just forgot to write it in, or if you're truly not getting the game. But that seems really weird, because then you're essentially buying a $150 collection, not getting the game, still spending $60 more for the game. This turns into a $210 collection for a game that we don't know if it's going to be any good. It looks cool, and I'm looking forward to it, but not positive. What more? There was a lot of stuff that happened this week. Let's go with this one. EA has a online store of sorts. You may have dealt with it in one way or another. It's called Origin. Sometimes EA games have you log in, even if you're on like a PS3 or a 360. But they're apparently going to be going all digital at the end of this week. I don't think them moving in this direction is as big of a deal as the overarching story here, which is that this is kind of what we've been saying on the show for essentially since we started, that it's happening. You know what I mean? This is just another step to where we're going. I've been saying that I don't think physical discs are going to be around. You might get one more generation with actual physical discs, but so I didn't understand why everybody was so up in arms about the Xbox. It was a weird move when there were rumors, of course. It was a weird move on their behalf, but you look at something like PC. PC's been 99.9% all digital for years, and it actually helps. I mean, you get cheaper pricing on games. They get to cut out the middleman, so like developers are actually able to give you a better deal here and there. But we'll see. It's happening regardless. So essentially, just brace yourselves. All right, David Letterman, I suppose. I don't have anything to throw. I'm sorry. I'm ill prepared. Very last minute, guys. Very last minute. Emails. I don't know if anyone sent any questions in. Even if they did, I wouldn't answer them by myself because that would just be weird. So I'll just leave the whole email section as a Gmail, and we'll leave that for next week. So even if you did send in some questions, we'll get to them later. And that would bring us to Tony's topic of the week. My topic of the week is going to be a spin-off from last week's topic, I think, or 2 weeks ago's topic with the Oculus and whatnot. It's probably the biggest news story that happened in the last 10 days or so, where Oculus was essentially purchased by the people over at Facebook. Now, that so much I don't care about. What I want to tie it into is Kickstarter, which I've been very vocal about how much I despise the way that Kickstarter works and how it operates and how it treats its investors, because that's essentially what you are as an investor. So Oculus was sponsored through crowdsourcing, through crowdfunding. That's how the Oculus Rift came to be. Without regular people like us throwing money into their pockets to create something that we wanted, there'd be no Oculus Rift. All right. Now, Facebook went ahead and purchased them. I don't have the exact figure. I think it was like $2.2 billion. That's irrelevant. But essentially, something that the general public funded got bought out by a major player for $2.2 billion or something along those lines. Now, do any of the people that invested their hard-earned money to get the Oculus to come out see any of that $2 billion from Facebook? Of course not, because that's not the way that Kickstarter works. And this is the problem I've been having with them since the very first day. If you are sponsoring something, see, Oculus couldn't get funding on its own. And they're a rare instance of something that seems like they may actually be very successful. So it's kind of weird that they didn't get funding, but they didn't. They could not get funding from a loan, from a bank or a business. Nobody saw the vision. So nobody believed in the vision, and nobody wanted to put their money, their assets behind the vision of it. So it got denied, and they turned to Kickstarter. They basically use the general public to raise the money in the promise that you will get your Oculus. But now that the company's been bought out, even though the company wouldn't be there without your financing, you're getting none of the money. See, if this worked more like the stock market, everybody who put into the Oculus Kickstarter would probably have just made about $100,000 a piece. I don't know how much further I can go into this by myself, but I hope you guys are starting to see what I've been saying for years, which is Kickstarter is not function. It's a good premise, it is, but it's not working the way it should be. If you're not able to get sponsoring through the same means that every other company that has ever started had to before Kickstarter was out, where you went to a bank, you invested your credibility that the company would take off. You invested your money, your time, your effort, and if it failed, you lost all your money, you went bankrupt, you lost or you established a poor credit rating, all these things. It took all the risk out of the personal, the individual who was starting the company, and basically spread it into these little $10 and $15 investments, in quotes, from the general public. And then the general public won't see any money if these things start turning a profit. I just look at it like Kickstarter should have always been a mini stock market, where if the product didn't take off after you sponsored it, you lost whatever, your $15, $20, $100 that you invested into the product that you wanted to see come to fruition. And that's fine. That's the way businesses work sometimes. It's risk. There's always risk with an investment. But if the thing really takes off and makes billions of dollars like the Oculus just did, you are part owner. You should be getting money for this. So, I don't know, guys. I really think I'm alone on this one, but this really, really irks me. This, like, I don't know. This is why I hate Kickstarter. This is why I hate crowdfunding. There should be some kind of crowdfunding where if something becomes extremely profitable and popular, that the people who staked their hard-earned money into a product that nobody else believed in, and it takes off, you should get paid, not just get the product. You are an investor. You are a part owner at this point. But, now the ramifications set in. So, all right, guys, that's about the best I can do on this makeshift podcast all by my lonesome. I apologize for everything. We had a really rough week this week. I'm extremely tired. It's almost 10 at night. I've been up since 6 in the morning working. So I hope it's all's forgiven, guys. Stuff will be hopefully back to normal next week, but that's about all the gas I have left in the tank today. So thank you for tuning in, guys. Catch us next week, same time, same place.